Is the COVID death cult conservative bullies, are they winning? Let me give you a few data points here. This is from the Tennessean, the newspaper in Tennessee. Quote, Tennessee's Medical Licensing Board voted Tuesday to delete a policy opposing coronavirus misinformation from its website due to fears a powerful conservative lawmaker would otherwise dissolve the board and replace its members. Now, this was a policy that the Board of Medical Examiners for the state of Tennessee, these are the people who oversee doctors, right? Whether or not a doctor has a license. It's the Board of Medical Examiners. It's like to medicine what the Bar Association is to lawyers. And in Tennessee, they passed a resolution unanimously back in September saying that doctors who spread misinformation about COVID, doctors who say, oh yeah, ivermectin will cure you, here's a prescription. Doctors who say, don't get the vaccine, you don't want to get, doctors who say those kind of things will lose their medical licenses in Tennessee. They unanimously, or say have their medical licenses suspended anyway. They unanimously voted for that. And then this crazed right-winger, Representative John Reagan, R-A-G-A-N, he's a Republican from Oak Ridge, and he is co-chair of the Joint Government Operations Committee that apparently has some influence or power over the Board of Medical Examiners. And as the Tennessean notes, over the past 2 months, Reagan sent at least 3 letters pressuring the board to delete the policy and appear before the committee to explain itself. Reagan later made a threat to dissolve the board. How dare you? In Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, a great governor, a Democrat, said yesterday, or on day before yesterday, on Monday, she was talking to a group of employers in the state. And she said, we're an employer too, the state of Michigan is. I know that if the mandate happens, she's talking about Joe Biden's mandate that has been stayed or held in place by Trump-appointed federal judges. But Joe Biden's mandate that basically any employer with over, I believe it's 100 employees, must mandate vaccines. She said, I know if that mandate happens, we're going to lose state employees. That's why I haven't proposed a mandate at the state level. Some states have. We have not. We're waiting to see what happens in court. Now, she's basically just punting. She's just kick the ball down the, she's trying to ignore the controversy, as it were. I can tell you, here in Oregon, we have 40,000 people who are state employees here in Oregon. Our governor, Kate Brown, who's got a spine of steel in many ways, she said, if you are not vaccinated by a certain date, and as I recall, that date was the 1st of December. I think it was last week. She said, if you're not vaccinated by this date, you lose your job. And she kept to it. And all the Republicans were like, oh my God, we're going to have 10,000 Oregon employees. How's the state going to function? You won't be able to get your driver's license renewed, and blah de blah. They can't collect taxes because they won't have any tax. The headline in the Oregonian, our local newspaper last week, I know I've already shared this with you, but it bears repeating. Dozens of state employees fired for refusing vaccine. Out of 40,000, dozens. And down in Florida, this is the headline from the Miami Herald. University of Florida researchers felt pressure to destroy COVID-19 data and not criticize Ron DeSantis. This is a report that was released Monday by the Faculty Senate Committee, a 6-person panel convened 3 weeks ago to look into academic freedom issues. They were so disturbed that they went public with this. They said, we knew that there was more silencing and pressure coming from above, the big above. That would be Ron DeSantis. University of Florida employees were told not to criticize the governor of Florida, not to criticize policies related to COVID-19. They were told not to use their University of Florida titles or affiliation in any public commentary or oral presentations. They were told that their funding would be in jeopardy if they didn't go along with Ron DeSantis' lies about COVID and masks and the science. The report goes on to say, and I quote, websites were required to be changed, the course syllabi had to be restructured, and that use of the terms critical and race could not appear together in the same sentence or document. It was about COVID and race.